Folks, welcome to the Cincinnati Razorback Room. I'm your host, Dennis, at this edition of Star Power Baseball, the Rulebook, episode number 18. Hey, while we're on this real quick, scroll down to the bottom of the page, like us if you do, and hey, please subscribe to the channel. We sure would appreciate the more subscriptions, the better the content gets. So now that the business end is taken care of, let's get into Star Power Baseball episode 18 of the rule book. Let me do this here. Shrink me down a little bit right here and get over where I belong and bring up the rule book. We're going to go over the two types of event cards. The event card like this, and the 3 card like this. That's the 2 cards we're going to go over today. You may not respin event cards. The only time you can respin this card right here, that one, you can respin that only if you have a pitching coach and you want to respin your pitcher fatigue spin and he hasn't been used yet. Okay? Pretty simple. All right, let's start with the 3 card. The 3 card's the most exciting card in Star Power Baseball because it's like something crazy's gonna happen, maybe. Okay? Most baseball games, something crazy doesn't happen. Very seldom does something really weird happen in a baseball game, but it happens. And the 3 card is exactly that. When you spin the pitcher, it says spin the batter, or hit minus, or walk minus, or home run minus, or WH, or something like that, and you spin a 3, that 3 cannot be respun. Let me turn this down just a tad. It cannot be respun by either a mechanical or a player respin. It can't even be respun by a coach's respin. A 3 is a result that is final. Why? Because it doesn't happen very often. And we want something like this to jump into the game. Okay? The first thing you do is when you spin the 3 is you get out this Master 3 card right here. This card right here. Okay? Now let me dig a little bit here. Let me just dig a little bit. And I'm going to bring up printable front. Okay. This is the results of a 3. Let me bring up the printable back also so you can see what that looks like. Okay? Those are the results of your 3 card. So you spin this card and that would be that card. You spin it and then you have results coming in of either a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And when you get those results, you just flip that card over, and you don't use We'll See More. Well, you flip that card over, and these are your results. You just read it and go. That's simple. The 3 card, one of our most exciting cards that we have, and you can see that most of the time it's going to wind up on a 4. Most of the time it'll wind up on a 4. Sometimes it won't. About approximately 90 degrees or so, it will not wind up on a 4. About 1 out of 4 times. It'll wind up on something different. I'm rooting for you guys. I'm rooting for you to have something different happen. My favorite one, though, is the ball is hit sharply to the middle infielder. Spin the infield card to determine the location. The fielder makes a diving catch. If any runners are on base, they're out. It's a good result in a triple play. Nobody scores. Everybody's out. What a great result. That's how it happens. And it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. Okay, that's the 3 card. Now, let's get into the event card right here. The event card is spun a lot of different reasons. Reason number one, to see if there's an injury before a game. You can use it to spin for the weather. You use it for instant replay. You use it for determining a pitcher fatigue. You use it if you have an argument on the field. We use it to see who wins the argument. Then we go find the rule after the game. The event card right here, this little doodad right here, the event card, that baby right there, you're going to use it a lot. Okay. First, let's just talk about pregame injury. Before the game starts, spin that card. Spin the outside of the card. If the spin results in a 1, then you're going to have an injury on somebody this game. So if you're going to have an injury, if it lands on the 1, you spin the card again. If it doesn't land on the 1, go about your business. There won't be an injury this game unless somebody gets hit by a pitch, then you might have an injury. All right. If somebody gets hit by a pitch, you'll spin that event card again. And if it lands on the 1, that batter is going to spin on the injury chart for him. Okay. Pre-game, if it lands on the 1, then you're going to have an injury. Spin the card again. Take the gray circle this time for the result. Let's say that it lands on H7 down here. H7. If it lands on H7, right before the home 7th inning begins, spin on this card, and the first thing you do is determine who's going to be injured. That'll be the inner white circle. If you're not using a DH, count it as a random bench player is what I would do. But it says right here, if you're not using a DH, use this result as the pitcher. Okay, I like it as a random bench player, but you can use it as a pitcher. The rule is use it as a pitcher because pitchers tend to get injured more than anybody else on the team. So use it as a pitcher, even though there's a spot for the pitcher right there, and then there's a spot for the DH right there. Okay. The charts are pretty simple. If you have a pregame injury, you use this chart right here unless it's a pitcher. If you have a pregame injury to a pitcher, you'll use the pitcher injury chart. If your batter gets hit and he spins a 1, that means he's going to have to spin on this chart right here. Again, pretty simple. And last but not least, a nagging injury. If your result is a nagging injury, and that happens, then you go to this table for as long as the nagging injury lasts. Pretty easy, right? So if you're playing a 10-game season and you get a nagging injury, let's see if I can find a result for a nagging injury. Nagging, number 6. Number 6 right here is a nagging injury right there. So if you get that nagging injury, then you spin on this chart before the game starts for that player. There it is. So those are the 2 type of event cards. We've already talked about pitcher fatigue, how you determine that using the event card. The other way to use the event card is in a challenge. Let's see where that's at in here. Oh, we've already gone over the challenge back in a couple rules ago. So you now know all the rules of this event card. You can use this event card for many, many things, and you will. You'll use the 3 card anytime the batter spin lands on a 3. Neither can be used with a player respin. You cannot. However, you can challenge both cards, both results. You can challenge on a line. I know that if it's a line on both of these cards, if it's on the line, it's a home field advantage. Okay, they're considered strategy card event cards. Home field advantage will go on that. If you challenge that, you're more than welcome to challenge that. Okay, any questions there? You need to get a hold of me. Let me get big here real quick. You can contact me at warhammerworld@hotmail.com. Love to hear from you. Once again, like and subscribe to the channel and leave comments, guys. We read the comments all the time. I get email notices constantly about comments on our videos. I love to have them, and I wish you'd get more. That's great. My name's Dennis, and listen to this. You know, all you guys out there that are rolling them, Stratomatic, APBA, all those, dice are nice, guys. Dice are nice. But the spin is in. We'll see you next time. Star Power Baseball.